Go for it. All right.
I know. Do you love it one arm
Okay.
on?
No, the one arm on. Okay, resuming our readings in this unbelievably fascinating book.
Patrick McCormick, out of a book called The
100-Year
Story.
So we're reading a passage called the Second Afghan War. The Second Afghan War, 1878 to 1880, was a direct consequence of the political conflict of England and Russia at Constantinople after the Turkish War of 1877-78. While hostilities between the two powers seemed probable, a Russian embassy went to Kabul and enlisted the Amir Sher Ali as a confederate of the Tsar.
Kabul.
Lord, with a C, interesting. I'm used to seeing it with a K at C here. Kabul. Lord Lytton, the British Viceroy of India, resolved to stop this new development, declared war on the Afghan ruler, and sent 3 expeditions across the frontier into the Amir's dominions. Kandahar, with a C, having fallen, and Sir Frederick Roberts having stormed the Pewar Kotal Pass and advanced close to Kabul, the Amir fled towards Russian territory and died soon after. His son and successor, Yaqub Khan, at once asked for peace, gave guarantees, and received a British envoy as a permanent resident in his capital. But this weak prince was totally unable to control his wild subjects, who rose in arms, murdered the envoy, Sir Louis Cavagnari, and all his escorts, and proclaimed the Holy War, Jihad, against the British infidels. How about that? Lord Lytton was obliged to launch his armies for a second time against Afghanistan. Roberts again marched on Kabul and occupied it after the Battle of Kharissia, but was soon beset by a vast horde of insurgents who beleaguered him in his camp. He drove them off, however, and was completely triumphant long before reinforcements reached him from India. But matters went worse in the south, where the pretender Ayub Khan defeated at Maiwand the garrison of Kandahar and formed the siege of that city. A bold resolution was taken at Kabul. Sir Frederick Roberts, gathering a force of over 9,000 men, marched to the relief of Kandahar, allowing Abdurrahman, with whom all arrangements had been previously concluded, to occupy Kabul, and leaving to General Stuart the duty of leading back the rest of the British troops by the Khyber to the Punjab.
Wow, Khyber Pass. Okay.
Roberts, cut off from direct communication with his countrymen, disappeared, as it were, from human kin for 3 weeks, during which the national anxiety was extreme. It was doubted whether Kandahar could hold out until relieved, and yet relief from no other quarter could be hoped for in time. At length, Roberts emerged victorious from the trackless region between Kabul and Kandahar without the loss of a man. Falling on the besiegers, he scattered them at the Battle of Kandahar, September 1, 1880, and practically finished the war at a single blow. Lord Lytton would have liked to annex much of the conquered territory, but Mr. Gladstone was now in power at home, and the warlike Viceroy was recalled. The Liberal government withdrew the British troops after recognizing as Amir Abdur Rahman a nephew of the late ruler Sher Ali. He has, on the whole, proved a good neighbor to India, and kept faithfully the pledges which he made in 1880.
And you know how profound that is, because it shows. I mean, why didn't we learn from history? Why didn't we learn from history? I mean,
well, what's fascinating to me is, they were complete shit stirrers, and they were trying to fractionate everybody and thereby take control, divide and conquer, as time immemorial, right?
Yes.
But Mr. Gladstone was, for me, the key phrase. Yes. Mr. Gladstone was now in power at home, and the warlike Viceroy was recalled.
Yes.
So they kicked out the warmonger.
Yes.
The Liberal government withdrew the British troops. Key point here.
Very key point.
And that should have been the point where it remained.
Yes.
So.
I mean, how many times?
And the heir to the sovereign, Sher Ali, the guy Amir, made good on his promises.